For John Dewey, the reflective practice process is therefore a process of making meaning for the individual. And what this means is that the reflective practitioner is on a journey, is moving through levels of experience and developing levels of understanding, deeper understanding from that experience as they move through from one experience to another. And therefore, as a making meaning process, reflection takes experiences and tries to make meaning by joining them together into coherent wholes. Making meaning is about finding continuity between experiences in order to understand them in much deeper and greater detail. And it ensures, therefore, that the individual is progressing continually as they evolve as teachers. And it also then suggests that there are certain implications to this process, implications about the values and beliefs that the individual practitioner holds, and therefore the moral ends to which they're working. And so, from this perspective, reflection as a rational process, what we have to do is think about the different ways of thinking that the reflective practitioner needs to engage with. And we can look at these from different angles. Certainly, reflective practice needs to be very systematic, very logical and analytical. And consequently, the depth of analysis needs that the reflective practitioner needs to ensure that there is a lot of rigor in terms of investigating experience and cataloguing experience. And this requires a very disciplined approach by the reflective practitioner, because without discipline, reflection becomes less detailed. And it therefore suggests that the reflective practitioner is engaging in somewhat of a scientific process, a scientific inquiry on their practice. And because of the notion of a longitudinal development, continuity in experiences, there is the notion that the reflection does need to take place within a group, within community, so that there is interaction with others, and therefore the development of ideas and understandings, making meaning from and with others. And reflection then requires some very specific attitudes for individuals. There are certainly a need for the reflective practitioner to consider both their personal and their professional growth, and also their intellectual growth in terms of reflection, and how this is made in relation to others within the education community. And so there are certain phases that we can look at around reflection. To start off with, there has to be some experience, and therefore the reflective practitioner has a reaction to that experience. It's very spontaneous, and therefore the interpretation of that experience tends to be very immediate and very spontaneous. From this, the reflective practitioner can identify particular issues and even name those issues in order to bring more clarity to them. And from this, the reflective practitioner is generating solutions, generating explanations for these problems in order to be able to question them and then to find resolution to them. And from this, there comes action, and then the construction of explanation into much more meaningful wholes, hypotheses which explain the way things are. And with the hypothesis comes experimentation, trying things out in the classroom, seeing what works, identifying what doesn't work, and taking further action, to get a much richer understanding of the hypothesis, the meaning which has been made. And in order to do all of this, from the Dewey perspective, there are certain attitudes which the reflective practitioner needs to develop over time. And these are attitudes of things like being open-minded and having empathy for others in the profession and the students, being aware of the cultural and social and economic context in which the practitioner is working. And certainly the depth of engagement requires a great deal of patience by the practitioner. It also requires the ability to take risks with their teaching and the understanding that things may go wrong and they will need to be remediated another time. And of course the need for feedback and to work with feedback in a very constructive and positive manner.